Welcome, everyone, to episode 78 of this Rise Up and Share Your Soul's Medicine transmission. I'm so delighted to be here with you. Whatever label you call yourself, healer, teacher, wellness professional, priestess, you are here. If you're drawn to these transmissions, you are committed to sharing your unique medicine with the world. You understand that that is part of your mission here. And it is my great joy and honor to help you do that. That is what I do. As a spiritual career coach, my clients are mostly all in the wellness field, whether they're other coaches or yoga teachers or therapists that are really trying to have this prayer, this intention to connect with their soul and have their soul guide them in sharing their medicine. And so every week we gather here to help you remember why you're here and clear any of the resistance that's so normal or the blocks that can get in the way of you sharing your medicine at the highest level in the most potent way. So let's just take a few cleansing breaths together. And so as you do that, whether you're here live or watching the replay, I invite you to take a moment to see those beautiful roots of light going down your legs and out the bottoms of your feet deep into the earth, releasing anything that is not yours. And at the same time, know that your heart is a magnet. And when you turn on that magnet, you're calling back to you all of your energy. So if any of your energy and focus is anywhere else, you're magnetizing it back to you so that you can be fully present as I welcome your soul. Those of you who are here live, those of you who are watching the replay, we welcome your soul, all of those divine beings that love you unconditionally, whether they are angels, archangels, ascended masters, are these spiritual allies that I work very closely with. So we welcome the ascended masters, including beautiful Kuan Yin, Green Tara, Mother Mary, Ascended Master Jesus, Babaji, and so many others. And I just invite you to visualize a beautiful circle of empowerment, of grace, of love surrounding you and surrounding all of us. And I just ask your soul to bless you and highlight for you whatever from today's transmission, whatever your soul is saying, hey, pay attention to this part. This is really important. So today we're talking about your soul's medicine being an activator. So what does that mean? Well, one of the things that I've realized that is really important this year is for us to get really clear on what is your soul's medicine. I've talked about that in previous episodes, right? And so your soul's medicine is a combination of the essence of your soul, right? That like a unique fingerprint of the divine, and your life's training, your experiences. There's a quality of everyone's soul's medicine that is activating. So what does that mean? It means that your medicine, remember, it's unique to you. Nobody else has it. Your soul's medicine is here to activate, to initiate, to catalyze, to help humanity. This is what I want to say. Everyone's soul's medicine has a common denominator, a common thing. It is here to help wake us up. Wake us up from where? From what? From this dream that we are separate from the divine, from this dream that we are lacking in some way. So everybody's medicine in that way is the same. We're here to awaken each other, awaken ourselves. And everyone's medicine activates in a very unique way. And it's very important. It's very helpful. It's very actually essential for you to know and understand and have conscious awareness of what does your soul's medicine help activate in others. Why is it important to know that? So this is the thing. You're always sharing your medicine. When you go to the groceries, when you're driving, when you're walking, when you have the most mundane interactions, when you have the deepest interactions. It's not just in your career and work. We're oozing our soul's medicine out. But if you have an intention, if you're like, okay, I have this prayer, this longing to share my medicine to the highest way possible, to in the most impactful way, in the way that the divine God, the divine mother, whatever word you want to use, intended for me to share my medicine. When that is your prayer, then it is really important to become very conscious of what does your medicine do for the world? Because when you know that, when you start to become aware of it, it amplifies the impact. The interesting thing, the challenging thing is that knowing our own soul's medicine can be the hardest thing. That's so interesting, right? It's such a paradox because your medicine is unique to you. Nobody else has it. It's in you. Yet we're so close to it that it can be very challenging to see it. And not only that, often our soul's medicine is very intertwined with challenges that we've had in our life. So you might literally be resisting your soul's medicine. So you might have aspects of your medicine that are actually essential and so helpful for the world, but you're kind of like, I don't know. For example, I know part of my soul's medicine is my sensitivity, right? Being very sensitive to environments, to people's emotions, to the collective energy. For a long time, that felt like a curse. It didn't feel like medicine. It felt overwhelming. It's something I resisted. So it took a very long time for me to understand, appreciate, and then know, oh, that's part of my medicine. Another aspect, so what does my medicine activate in others? My medicine, I have learned, activates people's gifts, activates their medicine. What does that mean? It doesn't mean I give it to them, right? They have it. It's not something I'm saying, okay, here's your medicine, take it. No, it's by my combination of the soul essence, of the essence of my soul, the unique blueprint of my soul, and my unique experiences in life, right? What I call our life's training. I have this gift, this medicine where in the most mundane situations, and then also with my private coaching clients, I can really help draw out what people's unique medicine is. So I remember when I first started becoming aware of this, and really started to consciously open my intuition and really consciously become aware that my soul was guiding me. When all of that was happening and I was starting to really really understand that my self-care was essential, that it was my responsibility to go to monthly energy healing sessions or craniosacral sessions or acupuncture or whatever I needed because I was up leveling. I remember there was a year where every time I would go receive a treatment, as soon as the person touched me, I would get insights and visions about the person. And it was always connected to their gifts in the world, what they were meant to be doing. I didn't know that. I was going to get a massage and then they would be massaging me and I get these images. And it was frankly very annoying because I was going to receive, to rest, to disconnect. It was very new to me. I still had a lot of resistance and guilt about receiving. So then to have that and then be getting images about the practitioner or the healer was not helpful. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? I thought I was just imagining it, but I also knew it wasn't just me imagining it because I wasn't lying on the table thinking, okay, let me conjure up a story about this person. I wanted to just relax and receive and heal. And I started to understand that these images I was getting were messages. And of course, most of the time I didn't share it with people because it wasn't my job. They hadn't asked for that. But occasionally, if it was a practitioner, a healer that I'd been working with for a long time, or maybe someone who was even a friend, I would kind of tentatively share things, or if they were really open to it, share more. And it was always connected to something, either a past life where they had been a healer and I was getting an image of some sort of trauma they had experienced. And that's why now they were having resistance or fears come up for them in their current work. It was a trip, trust me. And those were the first hints for me that, oh, that was part of my medicine. Now, at that time, I didn't think, oh, this is part of my medicine. This is how I can help people. This was just a piece of the puzzle. So I share all this for you to understand that your medicine activates others as well. And so when I finally learned, and I think I really became conscious of it probably 3 years after that, once I hired my first coach, and my coach asked me, she didn't ask me, what's your soul's medicine? That wasn't her language. But she was really like, what are you here to help people with? What do you, tell me about the people that come to you. And as I was telling her, well, there's a lot of therapists, there's a lot of like wellness professionals, there's a lot of coaches. Basically, there's a lot of healers, mostly women that are coming to me. They're very sensitive, they're very mystical. They're not necessarily religious, but they're very much spiritual, and sometimes I've had mystical experiences, and they want to share more of their gifts with their world, but they have fears coming up. These are all the people that are coming to me. And she really helped me see, this coach, thank you, Creator, for sending me this coach, helped me identify, oh gosh, that's part of my medicine. And once I identified that, I was able to really get clear and speak to those people and have that prayer like, okay, those people, come to me. I'm here to help you. And that's why it's really important for you to understand, what are you activating in others? I also activate people's inner children, in those inner, and when I say, again, you have to understand, it doesn't mean triggering. It's like initiating, catalyzing, speeding up the healing. Now, one of the things you need to understand, who's the first person your soul's medicine is activating is you. Your medicine is here to activate you. So for me, the first person that was awakening in all of this was me, right? When I started, going to yoga regularly, and I started to then do Reiki trainings, and I started to meditate every day, like all of those things, it was my medicine activating me and me continuing to say yes to it. Now, that's my journey. I'm not suggesting you need to do those exact steps, but that's what it was for me. So first, it's going to activate you, and it's going to continue to activate you over and over and over and over. The second thing you need to know is not that this is really important, that not everybody wants to be activated by your medicine. And that is their free will, sovereign choice. And this can be one of the hardest things for us to accept. But it is very important. We're not here to convince anyone that our medicine is worthy, that they should take it, that, oh, it's so great. That is absolutely, the divine is guiding us to those people that we're here to help, and is guiding those people to us. So there might be people, and I've experienced this, that connect with me, and they just don't connect with me. They just don't, it doesn't resonate, or maybe it triggers them. Maybe they're like, ooh, this is a little too much for me. And I need to just respect that and let that go. It is not my job to convince them of anything. So 1, you're activating yourself first. 2, not everybody wants to be activated by your medicine, and that is perfectly fine. You're not here to convince anyone. And once you let that go, once you make peace with that, because a lot of us have these wounds of being a rescuer, right? Oh my God, especially if through your intuition, you can see people in your life, maybe relatives or people you're really close to, that you just know they are hurting, and you know that you could help them if they wanted it, but they don't. And so we just need to let that go. And once we make peace with releasing that, then it's like we put up a sign in the universe that says, open, 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 open. I'm here to receive those people that I'm here to share my medicine with. And once you start to ask the question, and that's the question you're going to ask your soul today, of what does my medicine activate in others? And once you start to know that, you just bring more consciousness to it, and it's like it becomes more potent. So once I understood that part of my medicine was activating people's medicine, people's gifts, I understood why often when I would talk to people, even if it was in informal conversations, not even just with my clients, that inevitably it would lead to a conversation on what was their purpose, what gifts did they really want to share, what was some creative project they really wanted to do. And it wasn't, again, it wasn't me pushing people, but it was like through resonance, like those were the conversations that were coming up. And then I understood, oh, it's because my medicine activates that in others. That's what I'm here to do. My medicine also activates people having the highest vision of themselves, to really start to see themselves as their soul sees them. And so once I understood that, that gave me a lot of peace. Like, oh, because I also had to understand that what did that mean? It also meant that in the journey of seeing the highest vision of themselves, they also had to see the parts of themselves, the parts of them that judge themselves, right? The parts where they were resisting self-love, where they were punishing themselves. And of course, I'm talking about other people, but of course, this is all for me as well, right? Like those were the things I was struggling with. So it brings a lot of clarity. So I want you to really think about in this moment, what is your medicine, your unique soul's medicine? What does it activate for others? What does it initiate for others? Right? Initiate means begin, means takes to the next level. What does it catalyze? Catalyze means speeds up, right? Those catalysts in our body, the enzymes, that's what they do. They speed up those chemical processes in our body. So your medicine is like an enzyme, I guess, in a way. And it's like, what does your medicine catalyze? What does it speed up for others? And everyone's is different. The clue is going to be often what have been your challenges in your life. Self-love has been a big challenge for me. Self-worthiness has been a big challenge for me. Making peace with my sensitivity has been a big challenge for me. Seeing myself, seeing my gifts, valuing myself has been a big challenge for me. I've had to dig myself out of the mud in that many, many times. And so, of course, it's like, oh yeah, that's part of my medicine. I did so much inner work so that my clients, they don't have to do quite as much, because I've shared this example before. It's like you're a Sherpa or a guide, in a mountain hike. What does a guide do? Like there's these hikes actually that we're considering going to. They're about an hour and a half from where we live here in Mexico. I've only seen pictures, but it looks stunning and beautiful. But you can't go without a guide. I mean, you could, but it's highly recommended that you take a guide with you, because these paths are not marked. So you could either get lost, which could be deadly, or you might miss the most beautiful views because you just don't, there's no marker that says turn here. You know how often, not always, but often I've gone to like trails in the United States where there's markers, right? There's trailheads. It's like, go this way so that you can see so-and-so view. There's some of that in Mexico, but often there is not. And in particular in these trails, there isn't. So you need a guide that can guide you. And if you're like, I want to go see that awesome, stunning view that's called the portal of God, I want to go see that. So you need to know which guide to take with you, because that guide is going to show you how to get there. Right? And so that's what your medicine does. Your medicine is some sort of guide. Now, how did that guide who can guide me on that hike know to do that? Because that guide hiked it over and over and over and over, and probably made a ton of mistakes. Or probably fell in a ditch one time, or took the wrong turn and it turned into a super long hike, or maybe one time missed a turn and missed the beautiful view. So because that guide went through all that, now that guide can guide me and save me time, right? So it's the same thing for you in your medicine. You've been training your whole life to help people awaken in your unique way, and to help activate, to help initiate, to help catalyze. So I know one of the things this year for me that I'm up leveling is really this conversation about our soul's medicine, to really get clear, to really refine that understanding so that you can share it in a more impactful way, so that a little bit will go so much further. So that, for example, my clients, I see them for an hour, and I've really come to understand, like, oh my gosh, like now in that hour, I can accomplish what I used to accomplish in 2 hours with my clients. Not because I'm like hustling and saying, okay, let's go to the next thing. Not because of that, but because of the inner work I'm doing, right? Because that's my prayer. Because I keep asking the divine to keep refining my medicine. I keep saying yes to that, right? And so let's step into that space of asking your soul that question. Remember, the questions you ask your soul are the everything, they're the keys. And so take a few deep breaths. And I'm just really feeling the Divine Mother, that aspect of God, of the Creator that is the Divine Mother. And she's coming with so much love, because I know that this conversation can really bring up a lot of feelings of unworthiness or a lot of feelings of self-doubt. Like, is my medicine really that potent? Or feeling like, well, nobody wants my medicine, or why is this going so slow? So the Divine Mother is coming in, and she's just bringing this energy of love. Think of a mother, right, that is so proud of her children and just can see their gifts, right? Can see, like, because, and I always want to mention this because I know that not everybody has had a beautiful experience with their biological mother, or you might not have had any experience with your biological mother or even a mothering figure. So I never want to assume. I know that was my experience, and that was always painful for me when people would give these examples, and I would be like, well, I didn't have that experience. But you can imagine it. Maybe you've had that with your children, or you can just imagine a mom who loves her child so dearly and has seen her child since birth and knows, like, oh my gosh, look at her gifts. Look at how good she is at listening to people, or how good she is at connecting with others, or how generous she is, or how creative she is. So the Divine Mother, magnify that by 1,000 or more. She's looking at you, and I'm welcoming her in her form, as Mother Mary, is like an ambassador of the Divine Mother. And she's just looking at you, just knowing how beautiful, how necessary your soul's medicine is. Understanding the challenges of your life's training, the challenges that you said yes to, even if you don't remember that. And so feel that love coming towards you. As you see before you now that beautiful golden path that we often visit, and it's this golden path that represents 2024. It represents your extraordinary path, this path where you fulfill your extraordinary goals. Why are they extraordinary? Because they come from your soul. It's the path where you share your medicine in the most profound way, most authentic way, the most impactful way, in the way that will bring the most blessings to the world and to yourself. So see yourself standing on this golden path. And welcome your beautiful soul to appear in front of you. Of course, we know that your soul is always with you, but in this moment, your soul appears right there in front of you. Maybe your soul looks just like you, is just radiating light. Maybe it's just a pillar of light. Your soul is formless, but can take form. If your soul feels like that would be an easier way for you to connect with her, your soul can appear as a symbol or as a figure. And with your beautiful soul in front of you, you're asking the question. And before I tell you what the question is, remember, your soul always, always answers you. But sometimes you don't hear the answer right away, and that's okay. So I invite you to release any pressure. Like, oh my gosh, I better hear the answer. Oh my gosh, did I make that up? Was it my soul? Just let all of that go if you can. Even just set the intention and know that the answer is going to land in your heart, whether you hear it now or you hear it later when you're taking a walk, when you're taking a shower, when you're doing the most mundane of things, which is often the case. Okay, so you're on that golden path. Remember, this is the path of 2024, your highest path, the path where you share your medicine with the most authenticity, love, courage, that brings you the most joy and blessings. That doesn't mean you never feel uncomfortable. Remember, we talked about that in last week's transmission. There will be emotions that we feel as we share our medicine that aren't pleasant, and that is normal. But in this moment, you're asking, beautiful soul, what does my soul's medicine activate in others? What does my soul's medicine activate in others? I'm going to ask this question in different ways. You notice which question resonates the most. There's no right or wrong. So, beautiful soul, what does my soul's medicine initiate in others? What does my soul's medicine initiate in others? And then, beautiful soul, what does my soul's medicine catalyze in others? Remember, catalyze means speed up. What does my soul's medicine catalyze in others? And just receive, feel your soul filling your heart with those answers. And thank your soul as your soul thanks you for asking. Your soul loves it when you ask it questions. We bring the palms of our hands together. We bow to each other and our own heart. We close this transmission with a namaste. Namaste, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Again, whether you heard something or not, trust that it's coming to you. Stay awake throughout the day, because sometimes your soul might not give you the answers in words. It might give it to you in symbols or in something somebody says to you. Like, I remember I had a time in my life where a lot of people kept saying to me in totally different contexts, like, you woke me up. And it was kind of like, I finally heard it from so many different people that I was like, oh, I guess that must be part of what I do. It's I wake people up. And what I heard when I was doing this, the journey with you right now, I heard that I initiate the rising up. I was like, oh, I love that. Of course, that makes sense. The rising up. So I'm going to be with that. All right, beautiful people. So I want to remind you, next week, we'll be here again for the weekly transmission, 11 a.m. Mexico City time. So you figure out in your time zone of the world what time that is. So I know for those of you who are in the Chicagoland area, that would be 12, but you can look it up, 11 Mexico City time. Next week is also the free masterclass for March, Soul Training for Emotional Sovereignty in Your Career. I am so excited about that. I'll put the link in the comments. I've also sent it in the newsletter. The replay will be provided, will be available for about a week. And at the last week of this month, Mother Mary is going to guide us through a powerful energy healing session so that you can connect, and teaching so that you can connect with the soul of your business. Think about that. If the word business doesn't resonate, your career, the soul of your career, the soul of your medicine, the soul of your creative projects, so that it does the heavy lifting. That's what Mother Mary said. She told me, she's like, connect with the soul of your business and let it do the heavy lifting. Because it can feel so overwhelming when we're building our work, when we're building our legacy of love. And these divine ascended masters keep saying, let us do the heavy lifting. Let your soul do the heavy lifting. So I'm going to be talking about that. What does that mean? And doing a very deep energy healing session. All right. So as we come to the end, I'm just going to pull a card. One of my new decks that I got. I'm so excited. Enchanted Forest Oracle. So let's see what the message is here. Let go of negative people and toxic beliefs. Your time on earth is precious. Invest it wisely and be mindful of who you spend time with. Wow, look at this. Look at this wise tree. This is a message from your soul, right? It's like, let go. To me, specifically, it's your time on earth is precious. It's the time you have to share your medicine, right? So it's saying let go of anything that gets in the way of that. All right, my dears. I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.